Hi everyone, thanks for checking out this ring tutorial. Today we're going to be making this blue ring with these cool green little specks in there, making it pop. Nice little low profile, little cool underneath design, keeping it nice and snug. And today we're going to be making this actual ring, this blue one. But I wanted to show you some other ones to give you ideas in case you want to switch it up a bit. I have a couple ones I made earlier practicing this design. I got this flashy red one. Pink one turned out super cute. I got a turquoise one. And this turquoise one was like hints of gold in it around the side, kind of making it pop a little bit. But today we're going to make this blue one. So thanks for watching. Let's make it. Alright, so to make this ring, we're going to start off with 20 gauge square wire. 2 of those, cut at 6 inches. You're going to need 10 pieces of the 28 gauge at 7 inches. I cut mine a little longer, about 7.5, little buffer zone. But you can do any color you want. We're going to do the blue today. You're going to need a crystal, a little gem, 8mm. And this is a pointed back, which we're using for this one. You're going to need a ring mandrel, flat nose pliers, some nylon pliers, some cutters, needle nose, and then you're going to need 3 feet of the 24 half round copper wire. I put mine on a bobbin, but I'm going to take it off because we're going to use 3 feet to start with. We're going to actually take 3 feet off of this now and then find center. So I'm just going to measure out 3 feet and I'll be right back. Once you've cut your 3 foot of half round, you're just going to find center. You can just start by kind of like folding in half. Make sure the flat side is on the inside. Got lucky that time. So we'll find center here. Kind of just put a loop in it. Smooth it out a bit. Just put that right there. We're going to grab the 2 square wires. You're going to find about center. You can move it around in a second if you want. But you're going to put the loop on there. Flat side down. And we're going to go around both of these 5 times. So that's one. Nice and snug. Snug as you pull it, you know, as you go around. Keep them close together. That's 3. Alright, once you got 5 on there, you just kind of eyeball, see if you got center pretty good. 6.5, 3.25, that's about right. So see this one I started down here, you're going to just put it behind there. And then grab your colored wires. They don't even have to be neat. You can do multicolors too if you want, or if you got a gem with different colors in it, you can match the colors. But it doesn't have to be flat or anything. We're just gonna set those on top. And then kind of have like a little bit overlapping on each side. That's pretty equal. Slide them down a bit. Like so. And you're just going to grab that wire and go over it once. Try to keep them together on top of it though. And go around the back. I'm going to do the same on this side just to hold it down. So on the back. Like that. Nice and snug. Pull it towards you. Kind of down off this side there. We're going to be working with this one. So, okay, so that's center. So now you're going to just bend these up gently. Nice, snug. Keep it snug on there though. And then go underneath it. I'm going to go underneath it 5 times. But make sure that you keep your weave close to the last one. And then keep your wires on top of the 2. And we'll go around that 5 times. So that's 1. So this is for a size 7. But if you're doing a smaller size, still do it this way, because you could always undo a couple wraps at the end. And if you're doing a larger one, you might want to cut your square wires just maybe a 1/4 inch longer, or depending on how big you're going to go. But you'd still do it this way, and then you could just add a few loops at the end if you need it. I'll show you the way we measure it once we get the band done. So that's 4 and 5. So then you're just going to lay this back down on the top of the 2. Kind of see it there. And then come over the top. Around the bottom. Nice and snug. I'm going to fold this up again. You can kind of, if it gets in your way, you can just kind of slowly bend it back like that. No hard kinks though. And then scooch that one under there nice and close. And then I'm going to do 5 again. And we're going to do 7 sets like this. So you have like 7 uprights. But don't count this one because this is center. So they count that, that's 2. I'm going to do 7 on this side. That's 3. I'll do a couple more and then I'll jump to the end when we have 5 or 6 on there. And that looks like 5. So then you just lay this down again. Keep it in the light here. Right where my light is, it's casting a shadow. Around the back nice and snug. Again, keep your weaves. Hey, that looks like the flat side. That twist. It never fails. Never. Never ever. Because if that happens, just grab your flat nose. Oops, I got a camera for a second. That was a double twist, so I paused it for a second. Just use your nylon pliers to straighten those out if that happens. So over the top. Nice and snug. Sometimes when you come around this way, it wants to roll over because it's at an angle. Alright, so you're just going to do 5 underneath and then 1 over the top till you get 7 on this side, not counting this first one because that's center. And then I'll meet you back after I got 5 or 6 on there. Just so it doesn't take too long actually to get down there. I'm just trying to keep it a little shorter. So do 1 more. Alright, I'll be back when I've done 3 more. Alright, I'm on the 7th one on this one. So on the 7th one, put the ribbon down and over the top. And then we're just going to go once under it just to kind of pin it down. And then scoot that wire real close there. And that's it for this side. So that's 7. Not counting the center. So now we're going to turn it around. And on this side, we're going to do the same, but we're going to, now that we've done 7, we need to do 15 total. So we're going to do several on this side, so we got a total of 15 little notches. So again, just fold it up, pull it nice and snug, go around the back, try not to twist it. Make sure they're nice and close. Nice tight weave on the bottom. 5 times. It's 2. 30. 4. I just want to keep curling. Pretty easy. And it goes around pretty quick, actually. Nice and snug. Lift up the wires. Alright, so I'll meet you back here on the last one. So we're going to do a total of 15. I'll be right back. I'm on the 14th one here. This will be the last 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm going to lay it down. And then just one over the top. Nice and snug. Lift these up again. And then just one underneath, just to pin it. Alright, so we got 15. And if you smushed it around a little bit, you can straighten out. So you got nice little pattern going. And you can kind of slide them together, keep them nice and tight. Alright, then you're going to get your ring mandrel. And this one's going to be a size 7. So I'm going to start there. I'm going to start a little small, actually. I think mine's more like just a little under 7. So when you bring it around, make sure the one on this side is down towards you, and then this one is over the top. Does that make sense? I'm going to bring them together here in the center. Where am I on this thing? Oh, I'm up here. Okay. So just kind of center the gap over the, so kind of evenly spaced there. And then you could test them on your finger. I have a couple that I did, but I'll take this one off. Oh, it's tight. And then test it on the finger that you're gonna measure. Just kind of bring it to the size you want. Or if it's for someone else, just use the ring mandrel. So again, you're just gonna make sure that this one that's on this side is down in front, and that this one is on top. Just kind of bring them together there. And what we're looking for is a better circle than that. But next I'm going to smash that out a little bit. That's a bad circle. What happened there? Just make it a little rounder. So what we're looking for is, you see that spacing? We want the spacing to be about the size of the gem. So like from this little niche to this little niche. So your ring size minus the gem size. So that's how we're going to measure it. So if you need to make it a little smaller, you're going to remove a couple wraps, or if you need a little bigger, you might need to add some. Just trying to round it up. So bring it together, I'm up here. Stay there. Alright. So I'm just I'm trying to make it rounder. So once we get to that spot you're happy with your sizing, gonna move these up out of the way. Move this one this way. Like that. I'm gonna grab the flat nose pliers and we're just gonna flatten this little spot out here. Kind of get a little spot to work with. Kind of flatten it up. Doesn't look really flat, but it's flat. So then you're gonna just kind of double check, see your gemstone's about that size. If you get that out, so make sure you can sit down. Okay, so I'm gonna make a little bed for the gem. Let's see if I got a 6 sample here. Maybe not. But what we're going to do is I'm going to pull this one out at a 45 and match that one. Just so it kind of, I'm going to create a hole for the pointed back. And then it lowers the profile of the ring too, which I like. Okay, so once you get like at a 45 there, you're gonna just hold this as close as you can. We'll start with one. Oops. This is a little squirrely. I might have to do one at a time. I'm just trying to get a point. Definitely want it smaller than that. And then once you get that, it's hard to do on camera. But we want to hold it right there on the point and then bend that back out to make a flat spot. So like when you put it back, you get kind of a little, like a little bow in there. Kind of smush it around a little bit. Take your time, get a nice little triangle going. Like that. That's nice. We're gonna go over here and do that to this side. Maybe pull one out of the tie. Make sure your ribbon slid back, pushed back. Pull this one out at a 45, and then this one. Hold as close as you can there. Normally I'm not doing this on camera. It's a little squirrely. I'll try one at a time. But I want it close. Do it that way. It's never this hard. Yeah, that was a little easier. Yeah, maybe from the top is better. So I'm just creating a little point like that. So once you get a nice little, see how it's going to do that? That way the point of the bead will go in there, the crystal, and it won't slide around. Okay, so here's an interesting part. So what you want to do is lift that last wrap up. And you're going to lay the, let me see if I can get this out. You're going to lay the ribbon down to follow that little crease. So just put your thumb in that little divot and then bend it around there like that. And then bend it around again. So it traces it like that. Just a little zip around the corner there. And then do that on this side. See this last wrap, lift that up. Lay this down. It's kind of fun. Bend it around that corner. Just that way. Bend it around the corner, bend it again. This will help hold the little crystal in too. It creates like a little blue nest. Kind of cool. Alright. So once we got that, with this wire, I'm going to pull it nice and snug. And if it's not twisted like mine is already, hang on one second. Alright, let's just twist a little bit. So you're going to push this through the hole. Around underneath, and then pull it super snug over the top over both. Push this down. See where it's going. Right parallel there with that last one, and then back through the hole again. Just move this out of the way. Nice and snug. Pull them real close together and go right beside that last one. And then one more time. 3 should hold it really good. Alright, and on this one you're going to go up through the center. I wonder if I move this out of the way. Up through the center. Yeah, it likes the ruler. Okay. And then just nice little snug pull on there. And voila, it's tied there. Looks so cool. Alright, so we're going to turn it around. Now this one the same thing. And it's not twisted. That's always a nice little bonus. Alright, so we're going to go underneath and through the ring. Slide these down nice and low so as you can. Pull it nice and tight. Get as close as you can there. And run it right next to it. Push it through. Right next to it again. Through the ring one more time. For 3, and then on this last one through the center. Like that. Right. Okay, now that you got those both through there, I'm going to hold it like this. And this one that came up through the center, we're going to go underneath this blue ribbon. You want to make sure that your flat side is touch, you know, the flat side's going to go against the blue. Let me just take this, yeah. So, lift up on that a little bit, but you're going to go right underneath there. Over the top, just like that. And this is where we're just going to do like a candy cane pattern. We're not going to wind it really tight. So flatten out your wires, as I noticed that makes it easier to design it later. Not flat, but just, you know, straight. So they're all straight, so they're not like rolled. So we're going to go around this. And this is kind of personal preference, but I recommend like the spacing be kind of like a candy cane where you'd be able to fit 2 stripes between there. We're going to go around that like 5 or 6 times for now. So that's 3. And just kind of keep your spacing as best you can. And we're not pulling super tight, but we're definitely nice against, like, no air gaps through the lines. Nice, close, weave. So is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5? I'm going to do one more. We might add another one later, but we're just kind of doing this, kind of keep them out of the way and get them ready. So that's what you got there. And if you don't like your spacing, just take your time, make sure kind of it matches there. Alright, so I'm going to switch it over. Pull your wires up and outward, straighten them up, make sure they're not all twisted. And this wire you're going to bring out, and see, this is the flat side is facing me, so I'm just going to just kind of slide it under there and then pull it real close inside, and then do a little candy cane. You can move it up too if you have a hard time getting around those square ones. And then just try to keep the spacing the same. Go around it a few times, 5 or 6 times. Looks nice when the spacing's even. Not too tight, but not loose either. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Alright. So we're just gonna, so we're looking at it like this. You're just gonna pull this one out to almost like 3 o'clock out there. You're gonna move this one to like 2:30. Move this one out too. You're gonna move it away from this center here. And we're gonna grab your flat nose pliers, and we're gonna twist this wire here. I twist it clockwise, and I twist the ring too because I don't like to re-grab the wire. And I notice if you twist it on both sides, it's kind of more of an even twist. And then you just twist your preference, how tight you want the twist. And I kind of go like a little beaded, like that. And I'm just going to grab this other one, same thing. Clockwise. And you could make this a different twist or do the same. I don't think I'm going to do the same amount of twisting on this one. And match it. Right. So back there. Keep this one over. 3 o'clock. Just up and out of the way there. It's cute. And then do the same thing on this one. This blue one. All the way out here to like 3 o'clock. These ones. I'm going to start with the center. Clockwise. Oops. Right. And then this one too. You get the same twist on there. Like that. Okay, so we got this far. It's looking pretty good. I'll move these away from the center there, because we're gonna bring that wire over and put it down in there. We want it really close. Keep the gem in there. So grab your gem, and it'll fit right in that little hole there. Well, normally it does. So I'm gonna try to hold this so you can kind of see what I'm doing. Get in there. Alright. Camera's too close to really. So we're going to start with, oh, maybe I can't do it like that. It just falls out. So this one's going to come, so pull it up nice tight. So get kind of as close to the gem as you can. Let's see if I can do this. Why? Always works. Okay. I'm just going to pull this one up too. So this top one, well, that's not appropriate. Alright, get in there. Okay, let me do it this way. And hold like that. Alright, so you're going to bring this top wire down. And you know how that gem has like a little circle in the center? See if I can flash it. You just want to stay right, yeah, there it is. See, we're just going to stay right on the side of that. And then down. And this other one I'm just going to bring up over to the other side of that circle. Just try to hold it in there a little bit. So you can kind of see what it looks like. Alright. So now you got it kind of pinned in there. I like to keep my thumb on that little round circle. I can feel it under my thumb. And then I just kind of pull the wire down around it and then down into this groove. Down in there. And I'm just on the side of that circle. See if I can get it to flash in. Anyways, okay, so pull this one down in there, and see how it just kind of is a little longer than the loop? I just cut it right in so it'll go through. I just cut it right there. I can just push it through. And for now, I'm just going to pull it out of the way right there like that. And then I'm going to turn it over and do the same on this side. I'm going to put my thumb on that little round circle in the center of the gem. And as tight as I can pull it, I'm trying to pull it down into this crevice there. So it grabs that gem real tight. Oh, there it is. See, I just stay on either side of that little circle. And then again, yeah, you see how it's just cut it, because this one's going to be cut real close and tucked behind the gem. So just push it through. And as you do, try to, wire's a lot stiffer now that we twisted it. So bring it through. Keep it as close to the gem. See, looks like this could be tightened up a little more. See, I've got a good grip on it now. Alright, so on this one that we got through, So bring it up, and then we're going to trim it so we can just tuck it right back in there. So we're just going to cut it like right, just short. And then tuck that little wire. Like that. And again on this side, cut that short little wire. Do a nice little snug and straight up. And I'm going to trim this one short too, just enough to be able to tuck it under there. That might be too long. Pin that down under there. Okay, got those done. So on this one, you're just going to chase this line over. And these wires are stiff, so it's not going to want to bend like this nice little curve. So you're going to have to make the little bend in it. Sometimes these work good. Kind of give it a nice little shape. Just so it chases it around. Because you can't really use your finger on the gem like you did the last one. You don't want any flat spots like that in there. So just kind of tuck it into right there. So you have like a little nice round. And then pull it close to your other one. And then pull that one down in there tight too. Now this one we're going to put a curl on it, so you don't want to cut this one short. You do want to leave just enough room to push it through like that. So you can just push it through. Because we're going to make a curly out of this one. So bring it through, make sure it's close to the other one underneath. And then just leave that one straight out for now. Snug it up if you want, pull it a little closer. Okay, so let's go do this side. Move the blue one down again out of the way. And then pull this one nice and close. And then just chase that other wire. Make sure there's no flat spots. Looks pretty good. And then pull it nice and snug and push that one down. Again, you have to trim it. Now you can always bend it to put it through, especially if you want to do a different design down the side. But this is all I just do a little curly on there. And then through. Make sure you take these out of the way, get a look at it. So I like this spacing on there. You can do little touch-ups if you want, just minor micro movements. Move it around. So this one, you want to make sure it's nice and snug and straight out. Okay, now we're going to work on these blue ones. So if they still look like they left them, which would be good. These ones you're gonna chase the design again, chase that bar. Make sure it's got a good show on it so it doesn't go underneath those. And what we want is we want it in right here where on the edge of the band. So it looks like I need one more little candy cane loop. And double check it, make sure that's where it lands. Right there on the edge. And then move it up over here out of the way. And what we're going to do, because this is going to go through under the band, so we need to make like a little shoestring, kind of wrap it up. But what I do is just start off not super tight, but it's going to get tighter and tighter. Smaller and smaller pattern, closer and closer together till it's touching. Just get closer, see how it's starting to taper down. And then pretty soon it'll be right next to each other. And just go till you run out of half round. That's okay. Just keep going around it. I'm trying to make it snug too. Just keep it small as possible, you know, kind of shrink it up. I am trying to. Like that. And you could always use your. I'll end up cutting all this off, but if you want to make it a little tighter, you give it a little spin like that. Alright, looks like we mangled that pretty good. Alright, so bring that back down and around. Check your spacing, still move them around so you're not super tight. She got a nice shape to it. Don't worry, we can flare this out later. I'll show you a little trick to make it kind of fatter. Right. So with this one, we're going to push it through. And pull it tight. Make sure that your blue is still showing. Nice and snug. And you can grab your flat nose and just kind of smush it around. Make sure it's nice and snug around there. And it comes up there. And we're going to cut this right on the, like, kind of right inside the band. There's the edge and then just like one little wrap on the inside. So I'm going to lift it up. I'm going to cut it just, you can always trim it later if you think you cut it too short. See, like that. And then you're going to take your flat nose pliers and kind of chase it around and press it down. Like so. And then with this one, I'll grab the flat nose again. Go straight up and over. So it's laying between the two. I'm going to grab our little curly Q, little needle nose, and we're just going to grab the end of this. And I always cut off that little flat spot. So it's like a perfect circle. And we'll just go right over the top of it. If you can see that. And we're just going to clamp that down on top of it. Hold it there. And it just presses it right down and disappears in that little curly Q there. And then you can make sure it stays in the band. You can push it around a little. You can't feel it. Goes under there. And then too, I'll show you, we're going to really clamp that down later. Alright, so let's do this side. Straighten out these wires. What? Guess I didn't do that. So then bring this one along. And then it looks like we're going to need a couple more wraps on this one to get to the edge here. And then again, you can just pull this away so it can work. And just keep your thumbnail right there, and then do what you did last time. Just kind of start off with a little spacing and then just slowly get closer and closer together. Nice and snug. Try to make it small. It's kind of like the end of a shoestring, you know? I'm going to put like a little tie at the end. It's okay if it's not perfect. Probably end up cutting all this off, so don't need to take a lot of time with it. And then too, like I said, you can always use these to just tighten it up. Alright, so once you got that one twisted up real good, bring it back here and chase your last line. Get a good shape on it. Looks like there's a dent in it right there. So bring it alongside there. So that's where you like it. I'm going to push this through. Check it again before you pull it tight. Looks pretty good. So I'm going to come around the top and again grab your flat nose. Give it a nice little chase around. Just making sure that it's really nice and snug in there. And you got it nice and close. You're just gonna, again, you're not gonna right on the edge, but just inside of it, because you want that little curly Q to go around it just a bit. Like that. I know it seems short, but once you put these in there, and bring it around and press it down, it tends to go right back to the edge of the band. So just kind of bring it around and smash it down. And then this little guy, straight up, and then straight over. Now it is stiff, so I'm pulling as I'm straightening it out, like that. And then grab your little curly cure, and that's around. And again, there's always seems like there's that flat spot, so I just snip that off. Plus, it seems to be better size that way too. And then just curl right over it. Let's point it up. That's not what I wanted. Okay, I can make it a little tighter. Then just press it down on there. So get a nice little curvy on there. And then down. Alright, so now you can just do a couple little minor critiques. To see with that point in there, just keeps the gem from shifting, which I really like. And then the blue kind of holds it in there like a little nest. Alright, so now we get to detail it a little. So I'll grab my littler nylon pliers. I'm just kind of, see how the shape of the gem is shaped right there? I'm just doing like little micro squeezing, just kind of shaping it. Just to get over. You don't want to go too far outside that little circle because it holds the gem pretty good. So I'm just kind of giving it a little snubs. So then what we're going to do to create a little flare, unless you like it just like this, which is pretty like this too. But you see this little blue band that we put down? If you take your flat nose pliers and pinch where those wraps are, just give it a little pinch each one, it flares it out and gives it kind of like a padded, quilted look. See how it looks like it's got texture to it? And it kind of gives a little pizzazz. So then you do it on this side, and you can kind of pull it out too with these. Just nice little squeeze down. So now it looks like it's padded. And you can do the same thing to the band too. Like if you don't like the height on that, which it's actually not that bad at all. But you can do the same thing. You can create like a little, you just give them a little touch. And it kind of gives them a little quilted texture. And it's got some kind of little detail on it. I'm squeezing, but I'm not squeezing too hard, just a little flattener. Yeah, it's got a little cushion on it. It's kind of padding out, matches. This one's kind of cool because it changes color from side to side. But it's really like low profile now with the gem inset like that. And this red one turned out really pretty too. But this is the blue one. With little green highlights in it. Well, that's it, guys. Thanks for watching. Let's shine it up a bit. Actually, I think I'll oxidize it and come back and show you what that looks like, because that's really pretty too once you oxidize it and polish it up. Or you could leave it like this and just let it turn. Alright, here it is. I oxidized it. Turned out really pretty. I like the little green flash in it. It's got a nice low profile. And that little bed we made for it is nice because it lowers keeps it nice and tidy. I really think it turned out pretty. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Really appreciate all the likes and the subscribes. And I will be putting this one in my new shop that I just opened a month ago. And I'll put the link in the description if you guys want to check it out. It'll be in there. Alright, thanks again, everybody. Really appreciate you guys watching. Till next time, have a beautiful evening.